Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. It is so good to be back in the studio, although we did enjoy our little break here that we had. We still had winter break camps, but our classes have been on break since before Christmas. Then we had a week of camps and 2 big long weekends off, which is unusual here at the studio. We enjoyed that time, and now we're back here on Monday morning and ready to rock and roll. So I know for some of you, your school started back up today, and then for some of you, I know you are still on break, but we are here in the studio and ready to rock and roll. I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on in our classes this week here at Orange Easel for the first week of January. Before I dive right into that, let me introduce myself. My name is Allison Jensen, and I am the owner of Orange Easel School of Art. If you are new to this broadcast, this is the weekly check-in where I grab a cup of coffee. This is my new mug here. Miss Tori gave me this mug. So excited for Christmas. It says get messy. I grab a cup of coffee and I just sit down and we chat about what each of the classes, the multimedia, the drawing classes, the sewing classes, the fundamentals classes, what everybody's doing for the week. So if you've got kids in those classes and you wanted to know what in the world they actually do in their art class, this is where you can find that information out. And if you're not in classes yet and you're just curious about what we do here, you're always welcome to tune in. So if you're catching this live, I do have the comment screen open and you're welcome to say hi in the comments or ask questions. And if you're catching the replay, the same thing applies because I do get, sorry, we got people out shoveling the walk out there. It's very distracting. But I do get notifications on my phone. So if you have questions and it's after the live video, I'll still answer for you. Sound good? All right, so let's dive right in. We'll talk about each one of the classes, and then I have a little bit of housekeeping notes here on this Post-it. So first things first, let's talk through our multimedia classes. So these are those grade level classes where we switch media every month. It's the brand new semester, right? So fall semester, we did chalk pastels and oil pastels. We did clay. We did ink and we did watercolors because there's 4 months in the fall semester. Now we're into spring. There are 5 months in the spring semester, and we're going to do acrylics. We're going to do printmaking. We're going to do mixed media. We're going to do fiber arts, and then we're going to do metal arts. So this is our acrylics month. This is the time where we get out that not washable paint. So be ready, not washable. Wear old clothes every single day this month. So we're going to get out the acrylic paints, and we're going to paint with brushes and odd painting tools and learn different painting techniques. So our multimedia classes are starting 2 different projects. The younger kids, K1 and 2nd, 3rd, will be working on giant abstract paintings. And when I mean giant, I'm talking 18 by 24 inches. Big old pieces of mixed media paper that we are using. And it's a high gloss, heavy body acrylic that is just gorgeous in its colors. They will be looking at some of the different abstract artists that are either like contemporary abstract artists that are actually making art right now, or famous abstract artists like your Mondrians and your Rothkos and your Moreaus and all them, okay? So we'll look at all of them, then we'll look at some contemporary abstract artists as well to be inspired by this. Now they're gonna build up their paintings in 4 weeks in 4 different layers. And we'll start with the base layer of color with big, broad mark making tools, and then we'll slowly get different marks that are smaller in size so we can still see the layers underneath, as well as smaller tools. So they will alternate their color families as they learn not to make mud on their picture, right? Because we do have some color theory along with painting. And when we're getting a little crazy with the abstract, we want to make sure that our that we don't lose all of the really great color. There's nothing wrong with brown. I love the color brown, but if it's not what you're going for, it can be kind of like, what happened to that beautiful magenta and that beautiful lime green? Well, they mixed together and now you have brown. You have puke green. So anyway, so that's what they're going to be doing. They'll start this week with their first coat of paint. So we have to get it on. It has to dry between each and every layer, and they're going to be using. We use actually old gift cards and credit cards for this layer, which serves like a giant palette knife or a giant spackling tool, right? That's almost what it's like, so that they can spread it all evenly. And then they'll switch to some brushes and some different mark making tools as they go along. So that's our first coat for our K1s and 2nd, 3rds. Our middle school, high schoolers, and our 4th and 5th graders are going to be making pet portraits. And I say pet portraits because I like the alliteration, but honestly, it's any animal portrait. So it doesn't have to be a pet. If they're like, I really love sloths, they can do a sloth. I understand you don't have a sloth for a pet, but if you would like to paint a sloth, we're going to try to make sure that we actually do paint portraits. So portraits are shoulder, neck, and above, not tummy, chest, waist, feet, none of that. Okay, so it's everything up here. We'll be doing animal portraits. We are asking that they bring in a picture for reference. So if they're painting their dog Fluffy, then they need to bring in a photo reference. Some of them will bring in a hard copy. Some of them will bring it digitally on their phone. Either way is fine. If they bring it on their phone, we might go ahead and print it here in the studio, just so that we have, battery life, something. You never know, it could go. So we might go ahead and print it for them. If they're doing a sloth, a tiger, a giraffe, they don't need to come with that picture. We'll probably go ahead and find one here at the studio and print it for them so that they have a photo reference. All right. So a lot of the stuff that they do this week will be getting ready to paint. So they're actually not going to start on their canvases this week. They're going to work on painting techniques and color theory this week, as well as figuring out what their subject is going to be. Unlike some of the social like wine and paint places or the guided step-by-step paintings, it's really important here at the studio that the kids get to choose their subject and then they have to problem solve it. What does the portrait of a sloth look like? Because I can only find pictures of the sloth like in its entirety. So how does the portrait look? What is the scale that I do? Is it straight on? Is it 3/4? Am I doing a profile? And all of that problem solving needs to happen before we actually dive in. Okay, so that's what they're doing this week in the classes. And then next week, they'll go ahead and start drawing on their canvas. They're doing 11 by 14 canvases. They'll draw from their photo reference. And then they'll start blocking in the background first and then everything else. So really, this is when I write the curriculum every week or every month for the team. This is one of the easiest curriculums to write because once you get past the first week, it's like and paint. Everybody comes in, they're all doing different paintings and paint. Like we just got to give them painting time and then the instructor will float and give lots of feedback. So I'm looking forward to next week. It could be 2 weeks from now to actually get to show you their in-progress work. So a lot of these videos going forward will be able to show you where the progress is and what the steps are to their paintings. That's what our multimedia classes are doing. Our drawing classes are going to be going, Drawing 101 and Drawing 102 are going to be doing the same thing, obviously on different levels because we've got kindergartners and then we've got middle schoolers in the different classes. And they're going to be exploring some charcoal and some values this week using really strong, heavily lit still lifes. And then we've got like some different cylinders and shapes and working on getting things in 3 dimensions. The 102s will have a more complex object or subject to render. But they'll be exploring all of that with charcoal, which is a great place to start for them. The 102s in comic and anime, Miss Grace actually wrote the plan for this semester. And we're going to take these classes. We've been doing these now this is our second full year into classes. And our goal in the month of May is for them to create their own comic. So that's everything we've been stepping towards. We're going to start this month just by understanding the comic strip. So they're going to do a lesson in chibi animals this week. And then next week, they'll work on making that into like a strip or a story, little mini story. And then they'll learn some onomatopoeia. And then they'll finish up by making a cover for that little mini strip and book. And that'll kind of be their template that they'll use as they move forward. So chibi animals are the lesson for this week for our 102 classes. Yeah. Fundamentals, which is our preschool program, our fundamentals classes are doing, oh gosh, you guys, this is like one of my favorites. So they're going to be doing the concepts of light and dark. So we do a lot of dark play, a lot of shadow play, a lot of high contrast work in this month. And then all of our stories have to do with kind of this nighttime theme. So they're going to learn this week. They're going to be introduced to the art of Van Gogh, and we'll look at Starry Night. We're going to read Where the Wild Things Are, which is just so fun because, monsters and black light and all the good things. They'll make little paper crowns. We're going to draw fantasy worlds in chalk pastels. And then our preschool room for the entire month will be in black light so that they can play in the dark. Okay, so and then it gets even better after that, but I will not give away what's coming up for. It gets so good, you guys, so good. All right. Sewing classes are going to be making little penguin plushies. This was a project that we did I want to say we did it last January. It might've been February though. And was super successful with it. So they're little penguin friends. And the kids get to decide, is my penguin short and spotty? Is my penguin, tall and skinny? And then they get to put little flippers on them, and they turn out so adorable. So they're little penguin stuffed animals, which is what our sewing class will be doing. So this week, really, it's going to be a lot of pattern making for them as they figure out what their penguin's going to look like. They also, because it's been a while, and it's a new semester, so we do have some new kids in class. They'll spend some time this month just going over the machine, reviewing, this is a bobbin, and this is how we wind the bobbin, and this is how we thread the machine. So kind of start back at the basics. There'll be a lot of basics going on in all the classes this month because we have some new students coming in, and we look for our experienced veteran students to help us lead the class, and bring on board all of those wonderful new faces that we'll see. All right. So that's all of our classes. Let's go over just a couple things housekeeping wise. I realize that a lot of our schools do not start yet. And so we might still have some friends who are on vacation or just in break mode and will forget that they had class tonight. That's okay. So if you miss class this week, you can do a makeup. If you, in a perfect world, you would make it up on Wednesday this week. So that way you could have your makeup before the first class, right? That you actually come to. So you could make up lesson 1 before you come for lesson 2. If you can't do that, say your class is a Monday class, you're not in town Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you can't make it on Wednesday, your first time you come will be next Monday. You may or may not need to come on Wednesday because the instructors will try to get you caught up in class so that you can move along. So you can always ask the teacher or even ask the kids, or you can send me a message if you're not sure if they need to do a makeup. But keep in mind those Wednesday evenings for your kiddos, your older kiddos, those Wednesday evenings are open to you anytime you've missed a lesson and you need to get it made up, or you just need additional class time. Everybody works at a different pace. So if you're like, we're just slow painters, or we took forever to draw our animal on our canvas, and so we didn't get that first layer of paint on in week 2, that's okay. So come on in for some extra time. That's complimentary to you guys. So just make us a reservation on Wednesday nights. If you need that link, give me a holler and I'll send it out to you. Otherwise, you can also go to the website and just under the search, you can type makeups and it should show up. Or you can go to, there's a big circle, orange circle. It says for current students on the homepage. You can click that and that will also take you there. So that's, if you're not signed up too, I should say, you still have time to sign up. I will take the registration down for the classes after they've started. So like Monday afternoon, I've got a homeschool class. As soon as that one starts, it'll go away. Like it will no longer be able to be registered for. It will still show up, but it'll probably stay waitlist. Probably. And then I'll just do that as the week goes on. There's no good way to do it. Just sign up before the class starts. If for some reason you're watching this and it's Friday and you're like, crap, we were going to sign up for classes and now we've missed a whole week. You can still join us. Just shoot me a message and we'll get you in a class and get you made up, get you caught up on that week. Okay. So don't not do classes this semester because you missed the first one. Don't miss out on 20 weeks of art classes because you missed one. We will get you caught up. All right. Just send me a message. All right. I've got those of you too. I've had some people that are like, January is just nuts and we can't do January, but we want to sign up starting in February. Just hang tight. Okay. We got to get all the January people in and then we got to see what our spaces are like. I will update the website with February's information. We'll probably do it with a contact form. That would seem to be the best way. That's what we did for November registrations and it went the best. Where we just have a dialogue back and forth via a contact form. a special contact form that's actually on the class page, and then we'll get you into those classes. Unfortunately, the date logic with Sawyer and monthly billing doesn't allow me to just keep it up. Maybe someday. I keep telling them, like, works really great until the semester starts, and then it doesn't. So if you're looking for just February classes, let me know, and we'll get you in there as soon as we get all the January ones figured out. The last thing I'll say is I did have some people send me messages about special events for 2022. If you go to the special events tab on the website, you'll notice it still has like winter break camps and Christmas stuff. And so that whole page needs to be updated. There are placeholders in our registration system. It just hasn't been fleshed out. But we will have spring break camps for the week of March 14th. We will also have a Mother's Day event class on the Saturday, 8 days before Mother's Day. So not the Saturday right before Mother's Day, but the Saturday before that. So there'll be a Make Art for Mom is one of our most popular ones. And then we usually do an egg decorating, BYOE, bring your own eggs, just event where you can come and decorate eggs. So those are the things that would be coming for special events. Otherwise, that's really it. There's not as much in the special events as there is in the fall semester, but I'll get that webpage updated and have it up by the end of the week so that you have that. We won't start registering for any of those right away. It'll just be for your information. And when we get the website updated, it will say when the registration will open, so you can mark your calendars on that. Coming up in the next 2 weeks, I think on the 17th, I want to say is the first day. We're going to start previewing summer. So we'll show some sneak peeks of what's coming for summer, so you can get excited about that. We like to make sure we publish our summer information in plenty of time for you to coordinate with friends, plan out your, like, this week because I don't want to just spring it on you. So it'll be up for a good month and a half before registration actually opens, so that you guys can have conversations with friends and see what's coming. We do have quite a few new camp themes coming, and then we have something else that's new that I think you'll be excited about. So those will be sneak peek and previewed pretty soon here in midway through January. And then registration for Studio Club members will open on March 1st. Spring Studio Club members have 15 days priority to register for summer camps before everybody else. So everyone else gets to register March 15th. And I will keep telling you that. March 15th is when registration opens. I always get people that are real upset with me at like the end of June because they can't get into July camps. And I'm like, we've been enrolling since March. So get on it, because they were almost all filled by mid-April last year. It was a good year. All right. I think that's it for me, you guys. If you have any questions, if you need anything, the best way to reach me, as always, is with an email or a DM to one of our social media channels. So if you need to DM me on Instagram or DM me on Facebook, it comes right to my cell phone, which is never too far from me. The only time I don't answer is if I'm in the middle of teaching a class or, sleeping, I guess. I don't usually answer when I'm sleeping. But other than that, I'm usually pretty quick with a quick answer, even if I can just send you a message really quick and tell you I'm teaching and tell you when I'll reply. All right. So those are the best ways to reach me. You can always call here at the studio. We do check the voicemail once a day, but the ringer is usually off because I'm on things like this. And when the teachers are in here teaching, they're not answering the phone anyway. So, but we do check the voicemails, and we'll get back to you within one business day. If you have anything else that you need from me, you can comment here, you can email, you can text, you can whatever. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Happy New Year, everybody. And we will see you in the studio soon.